Hi, welcome to this week's show, SA Super League. Hey, we're over halfway through the season, round 4 closing up last week. I'm joined today by Matt from Bowls SA. Matt, how are you?
Very well, TJ. How are you?
And from the Southern Blazers, Ash Wiley.
How you going, boys?
Very good, mate. Good. So, boys, look, as I said, halfway through the season, we'll get into the ladder and what's happening today. Matt, anything new for us?
No, we're pretty much ticking along, same old, same old. The competition's gathering a bit of momentum. Sort of players are finding their groove. Coaches have got their strategies down pat. The put a mat down for a farmer round went very well last Friday, and we've got another theme for this Sunday's rounds, which I'll touch on a little bit later.
Perfect. Of course, so today's show will go through rounds 5 and 6, and the selections pretty critical as you know. We're looking at the ladder last week. It was fairly close. Some really good games last week. The weather really looking after us. Very little wind. Great night out there at Salisbury, and really solidly supported by those people that want to see a good game. Look, get the viewer questions in. We've got Ash, for those who know, from the McLaren Vale Bowling Club.
That's right, yeah.
Look, we'll get straight into it.
Absolutely, mate. Fire away.
So, as we know, we went out there on the beautiful Friday night out there at Salisbury. We had, now I'll go through this, honorary members of Mayor Gillan Aldridge from the City of Salisbury, Sean O'Kane from Bowls Victoria, who joined us in the commentary in Game 1. Of course, Bowls Victoria, yet again, as I made a comment on there, looking to steal yet something else other than a Grand Prix from us.
Always behind us, aren't they?
Always copying. But look, it's great that people are getting behind the concept of what it is, turning into a great league, the Super League. In the second game and some of the first, actually, Mark Casey, former Australian representative who is launching the Ultimate Bowls Challenge, spoke through there. And he spent some time and with Sean, spent some time with the audience there and answered some questions, and I think they had a pretty good night.
It was great to have those three honorary guests along, and from the Bowls point of view, Sean and Mark provided some good banter for you guys in the commentary box, so we're very privileged to have those guys involved.
Yes, it was a great night. So let's crack straight into it. So last week, the first game saw the Mallee Pirates defeated by the Northern Knights 72-43. Simon Dorr defeated by Darren Warner 15-22. Jeff Davis and Josh Thompson defeated Jack Trenorden and Kane Cools 25-15. And David Carter, Adam Forbes and Gary Thompson defeating Brent Marshall, Luke Pittersma and Todd Brand 32-6. Well, I can tell you now that, look, we actually focused on the pairs game there. I don't know, Matt, if you caught any of that, or Ash, you're probably busy playing.
Yeah.
But look, I did say that the overall does actually have a result. And when I mean that, that's in the shot difference overall, irrespective of the win loss and the points. So really good. Not too sure about any of the other games. I'll probably focus on the pairs there, but look, a great win to the Mallee Pirates.
I think all I'll add to that one is, from what I saw, was a vintage Gary Thompson display from what I saw, helping his team that 32-6 victory, showing his previous state experience. That's all I caught. Ash, did you catch any of that one?
No, all I caught was poor old Todd rocking up about 5 minutes late after being stuck in traffic. So that was quite a bit of entertainment to start the game.
And then proceeded to be on the end of that Gary hiding, so probably a rough night for Toddy, but we know he'll bounce back.
All right, the next game saw the Hyson Comets defeat the Western Rogues 64-54. Ash Halls defeating Seoul 19-15. Ben Harris and James Gregory defeated by Ash Close and Josh Dunham 19-23. And Jackie Gardner, Josh Choppin and Scott Folburn defeated Sam Dietrich, Jaden Zeller and Max Kleine 26-16. You're probably close to this one. I reckon that was played over on the other side of the group.
You were busy commentating this one, the other game, TJ. So this one was really close throughout. From what I saw, there's some big names involved there. Lots of state reps, country event winners. Ashley Halls in there has proved a very good player for the singles for the Comets. In the end, Scotty Tholburn up against Max Kleinig in the triples, a battle of two of SA's best, and Scotty winning his rink by 10 probably gave the honours to the Comets on the overall board, winning by 10 as well. So that really proved pivotal. Ash, did you see anything?
Yeah, I watched the start of the pairs game, and young Josh and Ashley Close were bowling very well. They started off, they had a handy lead early on, and then Ben and James did well to catch back up, I think.
Beautiful. Well, moving right along, and I think that's something we can probably talk a little bit closer to, is the Eastern Raiders defeating the Southern Blazers, 56 to 45. Tony Treloar defeating Jeff Munn 18 to 9. Really interesting game. I actually caught some of that while we were at commentating the triples, and I think the scoreline in that 18-9 definitely doesn't indicate the quality of the game. Quite often than not, that Jeff Munn actually was holding a good one or two, like really close. And Tony, and one of the people who actually said that haven't actually seen Tony Treloar bowl, which I think is testament to the overall competition with the country bowlers and getting that visibility in, and a really good, impressive game to watch, albeit my focus was on the game right in front of us, but that looked a really good game. Tony Lucas, Mitch Percy defeated by Ash Wiley and Mark Evans, 18 to 19, mate. You slipped across the line.
We did, yeah. Nice last bowl from Scat to get us over the line, to a side toucher to break the deadlock and get us the win. So.
You're supposed to say it was your good bowl that
I was actually waiting for your 3 bowls, mate. And in the triples, Laney McGorman, Michael Lodge, Chris Flavel defeated Karen Gatto, Gav Pfeiffer and Justin Parkinson 20 to 17. That's the game we commentated. That game right there could have gone anywhere. It was played in brilliant spirit. We were talking with Justin Parkinson and Chris Flavel and the others through the game, and yet again, look, every single one of those players is a testament to what this competition's all about. Played in the right spirit with the right attitude, and you know what, in reality, that some of the bowls in there, yet again across all the rinks, but what we see in there was just, it was champagne.
Absolutely.
Really good.
I think you've hit the nail on the head for all points there, mate. Well done on your rink win, Ash, but the elusive overall slipped away again for the Blazers, unfortunately.
It's coming.
And then finally we wrap up and see the Southern Eastern Spartans defeat the Central Chargers. I think someone had indicated that might have been the grand final getting played. But in the Spartans getting across the line 59 to 47. Blake Phoebe defeating Craig Mills 17-10. Look, if you couldn't see that game, you could definitely hear it. And Blake being the winner on that one. Nathan Black and Tyson Wilson defeating Ewan Graham and Steve Dennis 25 to 14. Those two guys, that combination, that pairs is absolutely lethal in this tournament at the moment.
I hope we haven't made them like each other enough to play state pairs or something together, because no one else will have a shot in
We'll start some rumours that Tyson said something about Nathan and vice versa, but they are absolutely bowling the house down at the moment. Well done to those lads. And then Jody Cox, Ken Holtham and Tony Devlin defeated by Patria McGrath, Adrian Green and Mark Haynes 17 to 23.
So yeah, it was a top of the table clash and pretty much lived up to it. It was a pretty close game overall, and the Spartans getting the chocolates, as we said, on the back of that dynamic duo and the pairs going very nicely.
Yep. So, look, that's a wrap up round 4. Look, as we said, the ladder's tight. I reckon we've probably got that ladder on the screen at the moment. It shows the Spartans still holding on to the top of the ladder with the Pirates. Equal on points, as I said, and we continue to say that the shots are the most important. Yep. And my comment was in that pairs game with Kane Cools, last bowl, no way he could possibly win. Why so deliberate? Because every shot counts.
Yep.
The comments narrowly behind by 4 points in the Chargers, with the Knights, Raiders, Rogues and Blazers following behind. So really a battle in there for the top 6 sides. There are 3 rounds to go. There's still a lot of points up for grabs.
Yep.
Anything can happen, but you can really see something consolidating, and it's really anyone's game into the finals.
100%, and the Spartans and Pirates promoting their youth, playing a lot of young players and getting rewarded appropriately, so it's great to see for those teams. And poor old Ash down there, the Blazers, you still giving yourself a chance to the top 4, or?
Well, I'm hopeful. We hope to win the last 3 rounds, obviously.
Yep.
If we do that, we give ourselves a chance. We've got the Rogues this Sunday, so we might even leapfrog them if we do things rightly.
Well, it's interesting if you look at that, Ash, and point that out, that the Rogues, played 3. I don't know if that's exactly right.
Played 4.
4 games, minus 3 if that's correct. They 4 games, and over 4 games, the whole result is a minus 3. So really close in those guys, and I'd probably suggest that they don't deserve to be where they are, but who do you put in place of them? So I'll let you guys
Exactly right.
decide that. All right, so we move straight into the team selections for round 5 and 6 for this Sunday. Yet again, a double header starting at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Matt, you want to throw something past us?
Let you know the theme for this Sunday's game. As I said last week, we themed the round around putting a mat down for the farmers. So this week, we just want to remind everyone that it is a family fun day out at the SA Super League on Sunday. So to complement the great games of bowls, which will be occurring from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. We've got a few family-based activities. So we've got face painting out there from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. So the kids love that. We've also got a petting zoo coming along from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. So kids can meet the little chickens and goats and everything and keep them amused that way. And we'll also have come and try bowls throughout the day sporadically. So it's not just a bowls event, it's an event for the whole family. So if you haven't seen bowls before, you don't know what bowls is, still feel free to come out and we can guarantee it'll be a really enjoyable day.
Well, beautiful. Are they going to have come and try bowls on the same green as where the animals are? Anyway.
Dodge the chickens.
All right, so we're getting into the first game. It's the Northern Knights versus the Western Rogues. Team selection up there on the screen. Darren Warner versus Simon Ageta-Johnson, Sol. Yvonne Kelly, Kane Cools up against Ash Cloche and Josh Studham. Karen Lynch, Matt Short and Luke Pittersma versus Marty Maloney. Corey Waldash and Sam Dietrich. All right, Ash, what do you reckon?
Well, I reckon. I love watching Sol play. He enjoys the game more than anyone. I think the pairs there should be a good solid match between Coolsey and Josh as back end. I think, you got plenty of experience with Kane, but I watched Josh last week and he was on fire. Should be a good close game overall, I think.
One way or the other, mate. Knights or the Rogues?
Well, to help the Blazers, I'm going Knights.
Right. For myself, look, upset the apple cart there, but look, the Rogues, I'd like to really see those guys get across the line.
I'll pitch in. I'm going the Rogues as well. And a good MGA Country Carnival singles semi-final rematch between Darren Warner and Sol there. So it'll be good to see. I think Sol obviously won last year, so it'll be good to see if Darren can get a bit of revenge. Should be a high-quality affair.
So you go the Rogues?
Going the Rogues.
All right, so 2v1, you're out the sideline. So the next game, we'll look at Southern Blazers Central Chargers. Jeff Munn versus Adrian Green. Ash with his sparring partner Mark Evans versus Helen Midhard and Mark Haynes. Dylan Lewis, Gav Fife and Justin Parkinson versus Fergus Roundtree, Ben Bowman and Craig Mills. All right, I'll go to you first, Matt.
It's good to see Helen Minard and Fergus Roundtree on debut for the Chargers this week, so it'll be interesting to see how they play in their first go of the Super League. Ash and Scat again teaming up in the pairs. I think that's a pretty pivotal game. You matched up against Helen and Foggles.
Yep.
Mark Haynes in the pairs. How do you think you'll go there?
Oh, I hope to go well. Last week was the first opportunity I've ever had to play bowls with Scat, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. So I look forward to doing it again, and hopefully we can get over the line and not save it to the last end this time.
Hey, quick question on this one. Jeff Munn, yet again non-marquee player, singles, mate, can't play the game. What's going on, Ash? I would have thought you would have been in there, mate. You would have been a select choice for the singles.
Nah, mate. I think Money at our first practice showed what he can do, especially with the 4 bowls, and he's performed well in the first 4 rounds. So
interesting for people at home. Ash has jumped in at last minute that Jeff Munn was supposed to accompany us here, and look, probably more along the lines that with a squad of 12, you've got to pick someone to play with him, and you couldn't find anyone, so we'll leave him in the singles. All right.
I'm going to tip the Chargers to back that up. I'm glad your chemistry is getting better at the Blazers, and you and Scat are going to have a good win, but the Chargers are going to win overall. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, don't like that.
I'm going to have to agree with Matt on that one. And Craig Mills moving out of the singles with Greenie in there now, and Millsy playing in the triples, and hopefully can find a little bit of a win streak. I think he's 0-2 in the last 2 matches. So the next game we go into, the South Eastern Spartans versus the Eastern Raiders. Tony Devlin up against Tony Treloar. Vicky Arb and Daryl Stott versus the Chris Tholburn, Mitch Percy. So Chris making her debut. Daniel Greenslade, Jack Pryor, Scott Binns versus Dwayne Edwards, Michael Lodge and Chris Flavel, and of course Dwayne featuring the triples in round 1.
Yep.
Now back into the squad. I'll pitch to you, Ash.
Yep.
Where do you reckon this one's going to lay?
Oh, I can't go away from the Southeastern Spartans at the moment. Got a lot of quality close friends in that side that I'd like to see do well. And they've been playing well. They just keep finding a way to win every week. So
Yep.
interesting in that one, Nathan and Tyson not playing that game.
Rested?
So
It's definitely not
maybe
omitted, is it? It's just
no,
has to be
you
rested.
know, there might be a slight opening there for the Eastern Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Eastern Raiders in this one. I think that, you know, for whatever you have to say about it, that Chris Flavel's been skipping the trips. He's been doing a great job, and he's really finding a way to carve out the win week on week. And I think that with Chris Stolburn and Mitch and Tony Trelaw, you know, people say surprise packet, probably not. Probably bowls really well. Yet again, we're seeing the country flavour into it. That's where mine.
Yep, you stole my thunder a bit there. The triples for the Raiders have been dominating with Chris Flavel skipping there. I don't think they've lost yet, so I think on the back of that, I'm going to back the Raiders overall as well, and it'll be interesting to see the Tony Cup in the singles, the battle of the two Tonys. It'll
The
be
Tonys.
a good game.
Yep, exactly right. Well, moving on to the Hyson Comets versus Mallee Pirates. Ash Halls versus Andrew Hill. Damon Edmonds, Ben Harris up against Matthew Freeburn and Kath Greenslade. Grace Maloney, Cass Harvey, James Gregory up against Lucy Tiller, Bailey Rafferty and Gary Meekins. And I will just say for Josh Thompson, that's going to confuse you, mate, that the Lucy Tiller and Grace Maloney playing against each other, so you might be able to work out which one's which.
Or he'll be seeing double.
He's seeing double. Matt, we'll start with you, mate. Where do you reckon, Comets or Pirates?
Very tough game to pick this one as well. Both sitting in the top 4 there. Pirates in second, Comets in third. So a really pivotal game. Look, I think the singles is critical to this one. Ashley Halls has been doing a great job for the Comets, and Andrew Hill knocked off Craig Mills in his last singles affair. So I reckon the winner of that one could sort of sway this match. I'm hesitant to pick it, but I'm going to back the Comets personally.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be very close.
Ash?
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game as well. I'm leaning towards the Comets. I think they've got a good balance there, so it should be a very interesting game.
Yeah, well, look, you know, it's 2v3. Look, and yeah, I'm going to have to go the Comets.
Lovely.
Hey, looking for a clean sweep.
Yeah.
All right, so moving right along, the Northern Knights versus Eastern Raiders. Bernie Ward versus Tony Trelaw. Hayley Wolfett, Todd Brand versus Sheridan Bodner, making a debut with Mitch Percy. Cooper Hocking, Darren Warner, Kane Cools versus Dwayne Edwards, Laney McGorman and Chris Flavel. Ash?
Yeah, another good matchup here. I'm going to go the Knights. I reckon it'll be a close game, but I reckon they might just get over the line. Get back Todd to come out and redeem himself this week.
Come out firing. Yeah, look, this is a very tough one to pick again. I'm going to go the Knights as well, and I can't really justify it with a reason. I just am.
Yeah, look,
You, TJ?
well, me, I've gone for the Eastern Raiders in the first one, but I'm going to go for the Northern Knights in this one. I think that that with the Cooper Hocking, Darren Warner supporting Kane Cools, I think that maybe this is where Chris will find his win streak coming to an end, and that's probably where it's going to be decided. Southern Blazers versus Western Rogues. Gavin Pfeiffer, the Grass Parrot, versus Josh Studham, the man that's on fire. Stephanie Clark, Mark Evans versus Brady Slater and Ash Close. Teresa Emberton, Ash Wiley, Justin Parkinson versus Marty Maloney, Corey Wildash and Sam Dietrich. Well, let's go straight to the man in the hot seat.
Yeah. No, it should be good. Looks like Money's been given the flick without playing his first game. That should be interesting to watch, Gavin, Josh. That should be a good game. Steph coming back in, she played really well in her first game. I think she was on the live stream rink as well. So that should really be a good match for the scout. Good to see Brady in there too. I haven't seen Brady for a while. But yeah, I'll back us in. We'll go good.
Yeah, it's actually interesting you bring up Brady Slater. We caught a bit of his game over on the other rink when we were commentating, and there was inches in it. It was like seriously, whatever he's been drinking obviously helps his bowls game. Whether it's some special water, I don't know. But for me, I'm going to go the Rogues in that one. I'm sorry, mate.
It's alright.
Scat getting a slight upgrade in leaders for the second pairs game. I think he requested that one game with you was enough, mate. But good to see you retaining a spot in the triples there for the second game. Should be really interesting, but I'm going to back the Rogues as well. Sorry, Ash, until you boys break the duck, the boys and girls break the duck and prove you can get on the board. It's hard to go with you. I went with you last week and you burnt me, so I'm on the Rogues this week. Sorry.
All right, moving right along, the Heisen Comets versus the Chargers. Ash Halls versus Adrian Green. Ian Miller teaming up with Darren Niblett against Helen Minhard and Mark Haynes. Damon Edmonds, Ben Harris, James Gregory up against Fergus Roundtree, Ben Bowman and Craig Mills. Well, Matt, thoughts?
It's interesting to see the Chargers have done this for the second time in a row with the double headers. They've played the same team for the morning game and the afternoon game. So the same 6 players having a good hit out across the 2 games, going in unchanged. So for that, I know it'll be a very close game. Again, 2 teams that are right up there, but as they'll have that warm-up game earlier in the piece, so to speak, I think they'll be well adjusted to playing with each other later in the day, and I'm going to go the Chargers.
All right. Ash, where are we heading?
Yeah, Matty's just sold me on that, so I'll go the Chargers as well. Sounds good.
Yeah, I need to get some fire in Ben Salty Harris, and he walks around with that chip on his shoulder. So yeah, let's go the Chargers 3 ways and see what the Comets can do. All right, the final game, the South Eastern Spartans up against the Marley Pirates. Blake Phoebe up against Gary Thompson. Nathan Black, Tyson Wilson back in action versus Dave Carter and Josh Thompson. Alex Reynolds, Jodie Cox, Ken Holtham versus Bailey Rafferty, Matt Freeburn and Kath Greenslade. Ash, where do we see this one heading?
Yeah, no, I like that pairs combo. I saw them first hand on the round 1. Got a nice little flogging, so that was good. I'll go the Spartans again, but it should be another quality close game, I reckon.
Matt?
I'm going to go with the Pirates to bounce back. That pairs game will be pivotal. As we know, Nathan and Tyson will pump their tyres up a fair bit, but Joshy Thompson had a good win in the pairs last week, not to go unnoticed, and I think he did the week before as well, so he's doing a very good job quietly. And Gary Thompson, as I said, when he plays well, he's one of the toughest to beat, so I'm going to go the Pirates personally. You,
yeah, me, I'm actually going the way of the Pirates on this one. I think the Spartans are probably going to drop this one, but I think you're right. It's going to come down to the singles and the pairs, and the Thompsons. And I watched Josh Bowl, the pairs game when he played against the Raiders, and he absolutely drew the house down. I have been critical over a period of time, and I'll say it here and everyone. I do give young Josh a whole heap of garbage around the amount that he drives at the head. But he actually changed that, and he really held the Raiders to task. So well done.
I can just jump in there. Well done to Kath Greenslade as well. She's skipping both games on Sunday for the Pirates. Yep. So I think it's a great cue for her to lead her teams. It'll be great to see how she goes.
Yep,
good.
Well done. So you can see plenty of games, plenty of action this week, and that's kicking off at 10 a.m. So the game's at 10, 12, 2 and 4. As Matt mentioned, Family Day, you get to... I don't know if the animals are out there. I can only surmise that there's chickens, ducks, goats and rabbits. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. Any negative press for that Bowls SA. But Matt, over to you.
Yep, moving on to our next segment, our favourite segment here on the Super League Weekly Show. We're going to put young Ashley here in the spotlight and ask a few questions about your bowls career in the Super League so people can get to know you a bit better. I know you're not the most talkative fellow in the world, but we'll try and open you up a little bit at least. So reminder anyone at home, if you've got any questions for Ash, send them through and we'll try and ask the best one at the end of this segment. But TJ, take away the torch.
All right, so John Ash has said from the McLaren Vale Bowling Club.
Correct.
I actually enjoy going down McLaren Vale. You have the 2-day event down there and coming up again very shortly, I'm sure. Of course, Ash has those greens running at about 153 seconds. Ash, tell me, look, firstly, I did mention when we were outside, when you pulled up at the Super League, I almost didn't notice who you were. Mate, the dreadlocks have gone.
Dreads are gone, mate. Yeah, just before Christmas last year, I went up to me mate Pat, who's the barman there. He's also retired hairdresser, and said, "Righto, mate, time to go." Never seen a bigger smile on his face. He was stoked. So we did that the morning before a game and walked out there, and no one knew who I was, so that was pretty handy as well.
Good, new bowler.
New bowler.
That new bowler membership fees would have been handy to go along with that. But a couple of things in here. Look, you played round 1 with Dylan Lewis, a fellow McLaren Vale mate. How did that make you feel, both out there from the country, stepping out on the green?
Yeah, we were pumped. Like we ended up getting pumped, so that was ironic. But we've never actually played together in the same rink. We've only ever sort of played alongside each other, so it was good. We were looking forward to it. I think we played it right, and then we just fell away the last 3 ends. So I'll take the blame for that deal. Don't worry.
Look, from the Blazers' perspective, and there was a little chat off camera about the chemistry is really good. You know, Linton Modra, acknowledging the coach there, that's really had some great communication through the team. But looking at the ladder, what do we hope to see in the last 3 rounds?
3 wins.
3 wins.
Yeah, not asking for much. No, as Matty mentioned before, break the duck is the first step. And then hopefully just get on a roll, go to Stephen Bradbury. Hopefully everyone else falls over and we can sneak in. You never know.
Win by default.
Yeah.
Mate, look, I guess we'll get into the torch thing. Who's your favourite bowler that you like to play with or against?
With or against? I enjoy watching Tully play. Love seeing someone so comfortable and relaxed, having a good time, and yeah, that's probably my favourite player to watch at the moment.
Yeah. So during this season, or this series of Super League, is there anyone that you may or may not have seen in the past that sort of caught your eye as far as bowlers go?
Yeah, well, pretty much everyone. It was good to see so many of the country bowlers that I only see sort of round robin country carnival. So Tony Treloar has been mentioned. He's a quality bowler from Lowerthal.
Yep.
And he's going really well, and that's what I like to see. And obviously young Nathan from Kadina as well.
Yep.
He's really stepped onto the scene and taken control, really. So
yep.
It's been good.
So you've had some movement in the past in clubs and whatever else, but irrespective of that, when you step onto the green, where do you like to represent? At the front end in leading, or do you prefer the skip role?
Yeah, no, I prefer leading. Yeah, it's good fun. Nothing better than crossing over 5 down and saying, "There you go, Skip. Good luck."
Please fix that.
Yeah.
Look, aside from your own team, the Stephen Bradbury approach that you just discussed, who do you reckon is going to take out the overall in the league?
Early on, I thought the Chargers were the team to beat, but based on form and the way everyone's going, the South Eastern Spartans have been notching up wins and got a few mates, as mentioned, from my Marion days in there. So good luck to them, and I hope they continue to go well.
It's interesting if you have a look through. Spartans and the Pirates have definitely been probably the 2 teams that were promoting that youth in through there and being rewarded with those wins to be sitting where they are in the top 2 spots. So well done to both of those teams. Of course, you know, not to take away from the Blazers, they're about to go 3-0 in the last 3 rounds. Mate, look, you've obviously played in a lot of big games and won certain things, whatever else. Is there anything left that's sitting on your to-do list as a bowler?
Nah, not really. I just take it pretty easy. It'd probably be nice to win a state title, but to do that, you got to enter in it. So I'll have to start entering in them a bit more often, I think. But nah, I don't mind, mate. I just enjoy getting out, meeting new people, meeting a variety of people is what I play for. So that's good.
Mate, as I said, I normally catch up with you at least once a year down there at McLaren Vale, and probably not many other people so easy going that's rolling around on that green and getting it up ready for us. Not too much upset you?
Nah, not a lot, mate. No, I try to take it pretty easy and sit down on the roller. Have a couple of rums usually helps as well.
Well, look, I guess I have to go to Matt, mate. Have we got any questions coming from the crowd?
I'll just give you a chance, Ash. You are the greenkeeper down at McLaren Vale. Such a prominent country club. I think they somehow won about 8 premierships in 3 years, didn't they? They win more premierships than there is years to win them somehow. But anything to plug from McLaren Vale for the upcoming season?
No, we're looking pretty good again. We've done a lot of upgrading the last 3 years. We've changed 2 greens from Sanrana to Tiff, and currently doing the car park as well. So get rid of the old, get some asphalt in there, get rid of the rocks. So that's quite exciting from a club point of view. Tournament-wise, we're looking good. We've got the Talbot tournament that TJ plays in October there. I think that's full already, so we're pretty stoked about that. And then just the usual roll through the pennants, and hopefully we've fallen off the perch the last couple of years and been runners up, so we've got to try and get our title back this year.
I hear that, well, let's start some rumours, why not? We're on here that there may be a couple of players coming back to McLaren Vale.
Yeah, potentially it looks that way, yeah. So, we'll let it out the bag. Scotty Binns and Brandon Wiley, good to have you back.
Good work, Dom. One last question for you, Ash. Now, you're known for sporting a certain look on the bowl screen that I don't think anyone else does. It's the old he zips off one sleeve of his jacket for his bowling arm and wears the full sleeve on the other. So
Correct.
it's sort of the half jacket, half vest approach. In the Super League, you don't have that option. Are you feeling out of balance with that? Are you feeling all right?
Don't like it. I have to put in a request if I get a go next year. I want a zip off jacket. It's been good. I just haven't worn the jacket.
When you return your uniform, we're going to find one of the
I'll
sleeves cut off.
Yeah.
It's a good look, mate. Well done.
That's
all I've got for Ash today.
All right. Well, there you go, mate.
Escape easy.
Think you might have dodged a bullet with the viewer questions as well, by the looks of it. So well done.
No worries.
Hey, Ash, thanks very much for your time. Look, all right, that's about it for this week's show. Reminder: Salisbury Bowling Club starting at 10 a.m. in the morning. Now that bacon and egg rolls out there, I know that to be a fact. Reach into a couple of gold coins. I'm sure that it'll all go to a good cause. That's because you're hungry. So for those that can't make it, live stream games out there. I'm actually getting half a day off. Matt's done really well looked after me. I'm doing the 10 and the 12 game.
What are you going to do with yourself?
I really don't know. I'm sure that my wife's watching this right now, so probably a list of jobs coming up. But the Northern Knights versus Western Rogues. It's the beauty triples matchup of Karen Lynch, Matt Short, Luke Pittersma up against Martin Maloney, Corey Wildash and Sam Dietrich. So I know that Grenville asked on the commentary all the time when we're going to get Sam on the screen. Well, this is it. Hope he's up and about at 10 a.m. in the morning. The 12 o'clock game, Southeastern Spartans up against the Eastern Raiders. Pairs matchup of Vicky Arb and Daryl Stopp versus Chris Tholburn, Mitch Percy. I will just point out just quickly, I seem to commentate a lot of Eastern Raiders games for no apparent reason. I don't look after the scheduling. The 2 o'clock game, Northern Knights, Eastern Raiders, singles of Bernie Ward versus Tony Treloar. Obviously, we've spoken a lot about Tony Treloar there, and Bernie Ward, of course, a great bowler. I've known him for a while and very good advocate of the singles game. 4 p.m, Hyson Comets versus Central Chargers. That's the triples matchup of Damon Edmonds, Ben Harris against James Gregory, Fergus Roundtree, Ben Bowman and Craig Mills. Look, I'd like to apologise in advance for that. I can't be there at 4 o'clock to stop that from being viewed with Ben Harris and Craig Mills up against each other. But look, moving right on from that, and sure my phone's going to light up in the very near future. Thanks for joining us today from Bowls SA. Matt, thank you.
Thank you, TJ. Excellent job.
And Ash, thanks for joining us.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much.